My mother started a social media account pretending to be me and is giving relationship advice to my friends using my identity. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the situation, but I'll do my best to explain. I'm a 25-year-old woman, and my mother has always been a bit overbearing. She means well, but she's always tried to control my life and the people I surround myself with. Recently, I discovered that she's taken it to a whole new level. She created a social media account pretending to be me, using my name and photos. At first, I thought it was just a joke, but then I realized she was actually using it to give relationship advice to my friends. They would ask her for advice on their love lives, and she would respond with these long, elaborate posts. The worst part is that they all think it's me, and they're taking her advice seriously. They're coming to me with problems, asking for my opinion, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like she's invaded my personal space and is now manipulating my relationships with my friends. I'm feeling a mix of emotions: anger, frustration, and fear. What if she says something that ruins my friendships or worse, damages my reputation? I've tried talking to her about it, but she just brushes it off, saying she's doing it out of love and concern for me. She doesn't see the harm in it, but I do. I feel like I'm losing control of my own identity. I've decided to take matters into my own hands and try to put an end to this. I've started by reaching out to my friends, explaining the situation, and asking them to be more cautious when taking advice from the fake account. I've also reported the account to the social media platform, hoping they can help me shut it down. It's been a few days since I started taking action, and I'm still waiting to see the results. I'm anxious to see how my friends will react and whether my mother will finally stop her charade. I just want my life back, and I want my mother to respect my boundaries. Update 1: It's been a week since I discovered the fake account, and things have started to get out of hand. My friends are still reaching out to the fake account, asking for advice, and my mother is getting bolder. She started to share more personal stories and anecdotes, making it seem like she's me. I've had to intervene a few times, explaining to my friends that it's not me, but it's getting exhausting. I've also noticed that my mother is using the account to badmouth my current boyfriend, saying he's not good enough for me. It's like she's trying to sabotage my relationship. I'm at my wit's end, and I don't know what to do. I've tried talking to her again, but she just says I'm overreacting. I've decided to take a different approach. I've started to gather evidence of the fake account, taking screenshots and saving messages. I'm planning to use this evidence to confront my mother and put an end to this once and for all. I'm also considering seeking help from a therapist, as the situation is taking a toll on my mental health. I just want my life back, and I want my mother to respect my boundaries. Update 2: I had a huge confrontation with my mother yesterday. I showed her the evidence I've been gathering, and she finally realized the harm she's caused. She broke down in tears, saying she was just trying to help, but I couldn't help but feel angry and hurt. How could she do this to me? I told her that I need her to respect my boundaries and my relationships. I need her to stop pretending to be me and to stop giving advice to my friends. She agreed, and we made a plan to shut down the fake account together. I'm still trying to process everything, but I'm feeling a sense of relief wash over me. I'm hoping that this is the end of this ordeal and that I can finally move on. But, as I'm writing this, I received a message from one of my friends saying that the fake account is still active. I'm not sure what to do, as I thought we had already shut it down. I'm feeling a mix of emotions again: anger, frustration, and fear. What if my mother didn't actually shut it down? What if she's still pretending to be me? I'm going to have to investigate further and take action again. I just want this to be over. Update 3: It's been 2 weeks since the confrontation, and I'm happy to report that the fake account has been shut down. My mother finally realized the harm she caused and took responsibility for her actions. She apologized to me and to my friends, and we're all working on rebuilding our relationships. I'm still trying to process everything, but I'm feeling a sense of closure. I've learned a lot from this experience, and I'm grateful for the support of my friends and family. I've realized that setting boundaries and communicating effectively is key to maintaining healthy relationships. I'm also realizing that I need to take care of myself, both mentally and emotionally. I've started seeing a therapist, and it's been incredibly helpful. I'm learning to prioritize my own needs and to say no when necessary. I'm also working on rebuilding my relationship with my mother, but it's going to take time. I'm hopeful that we can heal and move forward, but I'm also aware that it won't be easy. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout this ordeal. Your messages, comments, and advice have meant the world to me. I'm grateful to be a part of this community, and I'm looking forward to moving forward and starting a new chapter in my life. I found out my brother has been running a fake charity using my deceased son's name, and my parents are defending his actions. I'm still trying to process everything that's happened over the past week. It's been a whirlwind of emotions, and I'm not sure how to deal with it all. My son, Jack, passed away 3 years ago at the age of 10. He was an amazing kid, and his death was a devastating blow to our entire family. My brother, Alex, was close to Jack, and I thought he was genuinely grieving after his death. But what I've recently discovered has left me feeling shocked, hurt, and angry. About a month ago, I started noticing that Alex was posting a lot on social media about a charity he had set up in Jack's name. He called it Jack's Legacy and claimed it was a nonprofit organization aimed at helping families who had lost children to cancer. At first, I thought it was a great idea, and I even donated some money to the cause. But as time went on, I started to notice that something wasn't quite right. The posts were always very vague, and when I asked Alex for more information about the charity, he would brush me off and tell me not to worry about it. I started to feel a bit suspicious, so I decided to do some digging. I searched online for any information about Jack's Legacy, but I couldn't find anything. No website, no social media pages, no reviews or testimonials from people who had benefited from the charity. It was as if the charity didn't exist at all. I started to feel a sense of unease, and I knew I had to confront Alex about it. I invited him over to my house and asked him to explain what was going on with the charity. At first, he denied anything was wrong and told me I was just being paranoid. But as I pushed him for more information, he eventually cracked and told me the truth. The charity was a fake, and he had been using the money to pay off his own debts and fund his lavish lifestyle. I was horrified. I couldn't believe that my own brother could be so callous and cruel. He was using our deceased son's name to scam people out of their money, and he had the nerve to act like he was doing something good. I was so angry and hurt that I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was going to explode. But then things got even worse. My parents found out about the confrontation, and they took Alex's side. They told me that I was being too harsh and that Alex was just trying to keep Jack's memory alive. They said that the ends justified the means, and that the charity was a good idea, even if it wasn't entirely legitimate. I was stunned. I couldn't believe that my own parents could be so blind and naive. Didn't they see that Alex was using our son's name to scam people? Didn't they care that he was breaking the law and ruining our family's reputation? I felt like I was living in a nightmare, and I didn't know how to wake up. Update 1. I've been trying to process everything that's happened over the past few days, and I'm still trying to come to terms with my parents' reaction. I had a big argument with them yesterday, and it ended with me telling them that I didn't want to see or speak to them until they apologized and acknowledged the harm that Alex had caused. It's hard for me to understand why they can't see the damage that Alex's actions have caused. Don't they remember how much Jack suffered during his illness? Don't they remember how much pain and trauma our family went through? It's like they've forgotten all of it and are just trying to protect Alex's reputation. I've been talking to a therapist, and she's been helping me to deal with my emotions and come up with a plan to move forward. She's told me that I need to prioritize my own well-being and take care of myself during this difficult time. She's also encouraged me to reach out to other family members and friends who may be able to offer me support and guidance. I've been thinking a lot about my relationship with my parents and how it's been affected by their response to Alex's actions. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to fully forgive them for their betrayal, but I do know that I need to take care of myself and prioritize my own healing. I've decided to start by setting boundaries with them and limiting our contact until they're willing to acknowledge the harm that Alex has caused. It's not going to be easy, but I know it's necessary for my own well-being. I've also been thinking about what I can do to stop Alex and bring him to justice. I've been doing some research and talking to a lawyer, and it seems like I may have a good case against him. I'm considering taking him to court and suing him for fraud and emotional distress. It's going to be a long and difficult process, but I'm willing to fight for what's right and make sure that Alex is held accountable for his actions. Update 2. It's been a few weeks since I last spoke to my parents, and I have to say that it's been a relief not to have to deal with their drama and stress. I've been focusing on my own healing and taking care of myself, and it's been really helpful. I've been seeing my therapist regularly, and she's been helping me to work through my emotions and develop coping strategies. I've also been spending time with friends and family members who are supportive and understanding, and that's been a big help. I've been thinking a lot about my relationship with my parents and how it's been affected by their response to Alex's actions. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to fully forgive them for their betrayal, but I do know that I need to take care of myself and prioritize my own healing. I've decided to start by setting boundaries with them and limiting our contact until they're willing to acknowledge the harm that Alex has caused. It's not going to be easy, but I know it's necessary for my own well-being. I've also been thinking about what I can do to stop Alex and bring him to justice. I've been doing some research and talking to a lawyer, and it seems like I may have a good case against him. I'm considering taking him to court and suing him for fraud and emotional distress. It's going to be a long and difficult process, but I'm willing to fight for what's right and make sure that Alex is held accountable for his actions. I recently received a letter from a woman who claimed to have donated money to Alex's fake charity. She told me that she had been scammed out of thousands of dollars and was devastated by the experience. She asked me if I knew anything about the charity and if I could help her get her money back. I was shocked and saddened by her story, and I knew I had to do something to help her. I told her everything I knew about Alex's scam, and I offered to help her take him to court. She was grateful for my support, and we're now working together to build a case against Alex. It's going to be a long and difficult process, but I'm determined to see justice served. Update 3. It's been a few months since I last updated, and I wanted to let everyone know what's been going on. I've been working with the woman who was scammed by Alex, and we've been building a case against him. We've been gathering evidence and talking to other people who were also scammed, and it's been really helpful. We've also been working with the authorities, and they're now investigating Alex for fraud and other crimes. It's been a long and difficult process, but I'm hopeful that justice will be served. I've also been thinking about my relationship with my parents, and I've decided that I need to take a step back and prioritize my own well-being. I've been setting boundaries with them and limiting our contact, and it's been really helpful. I've been focusing on my own healing and taking care of myself, and it's been really helpful. I've been seeing my therapist regularly, and she's been helping me to work through my emotions and develop coping strategies. I've also been spending time with friends and family members who are supportive and understanding, and that's been a big help. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I'm hopeful that I'll be able to find some sense of closure and healing. I'm also hopeful that Alex will be held accountable for his actions and that justice will be served. I want to thank everyone who has been supporting me throughout this difficult time. It's meant a lot to me, and I'm grateful for your kindness and understanding.
I discovered my wife's work trips were actually visits to her secret second family, and now she wants me to help support her other children. My name is Hector, and I've been married to my wife, Allison, for over 10 years. We have 2 beautiful children together, a boy and a girl, aged 8 and 10. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, but I thought our marriage was solid. My wife is a successful businesswoman, and she frequently goes on work trips, sometimes for weeks at a time. I've always been supportive of her career, and I've never suspected anything out of the ordinary. That was until a few months ago, when I stumbled upon a strange text message on her phone. It was from a number I didn't recognize, and all it said was, "Can't wait to see you and the kids." I didn't think much of it at first, but something about it nagged at me. I started to pay closer attention to her trips, and I noticed that she would often leave on a Friday and return on a Sunday, which seemed strange for a work trip. I also noticed that she would take a lot of luggage with her, which again seemed unusual for a business trip. My curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to do some digging. I started by looking at her phone records and noticed that she had been in frequent contact with the same number that sent her the text message. I decided to investigate further and hired a private investigator to follow her on one of her trips. The results were shocking. It turned out that my wife had a whole other family, a husband and 2 children, in another state. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that my wife had been leading a double life for so long. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I didn't know how to process this information, and I didn't know what to do. I decided to confront my wife, and that's when things got even more complicated. She broke down and confessed everything. She told me that she had met her other husband, Victor, at a conference a few years ago, and they had started an affair. She said that she had fallen in love with him, but she couldn't leave me because of our children. She said that Victor had also been married at the time, but he had since divorced his wife and was now raising their 2 children on his own. She told me that she had been visiting them on her work trips and that she had been helping to support them financially. She said that she wanted me to help support them too, that she wanted us to be a modern family and for all the children to be raised together. I was shocked and angry, and I told her that I needed time to think. I didn't know what to do or how to process this information. I felt like my whole world had been turned upside down. Update 1. It's been a few weeks since I found out about my wife's secret family, and I'm still trying to come to terms with it. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to do. Part of me wants to forgive my wife and try to make our marriage work, but another part of me is angry and hurt. I feel like she's been lying to me for years, and I don't know if I can ever trust her again. I've been talking to a therapist, and she's been helping me to work through my emotions. She's told me that I need to take care of myself and prioritize my own well-being. She's also told me that I need to think about what's best for our children. I don't want them to get hurt, and I don't want them to be affected by our problems. I've decided to take some time for myself and to focus on my own healing. I've told my wife that I need space, and she's agreed to give it to me. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I need to take things one step at a time. I've also been thinking about my wife's request for me to help support her other children. I don't know if I'm ready for that, and I don't know if I ever will be. I feel like I need to prioritize my own family and our own needs before I can even think about supporting someone else's children. I've told my wife that I'm not ready to discuss that yet, and she's agreed to wait. I'm trying to be patient and understanding, but it's hard when I feel like my whole world has been turned upside down. Update 2. It's been a few months since I found out about my wife's secret family, and things have been slowly starting to come to a head. My wife and I have been having long conversations about our marriage and our future. We've been talking about what we want and what we need, and we've been trying to figure out what's best for our family. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've come to realize that I'm not sure if I can ever fully trust my wife again. I feel like she's been lying to me for so long, and I don't know if I can ever get past that. I've told her how I feel, and she's been understanding. She's told me that she doesn't blame me for feeling that way, and that she's willing to do whatever it takes to regain my trust. I appreciate her willingness to work on our marriage, but I'm still not sure if it's enough. I've also been thinking about her other family, and I've decided that I'm not ready to meet them. I know that my wife wants us to be a modern family and for all the children to be raised together, but I don't know if I'm ready for that. I feel like I need to take things one step at a time and to focus on my own healing before I can even think about meeting her other family. My wife has been understanding, and she's told me that she'll wait for me to be ready. I appreciate her patience, and I'm grateful for her understanding. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I need to take things one step at a time. I'm trying to be patient and understanding, but it's hard when I feel like my whole world has been turned upside down. Update 3. It's been over a year since I found out about my wife's secret family, and things have been slowly starting to come to a head. My wife and I have been having long conversations about our marriage and our future. We've been talking about what we want and what we need, and we've been trying to figure out what's best for our family. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've come to realize that I'm not sure if I can ever fully trust my wife again. I feel like she's been lying to me for so long, and I don't know if I can ever get past that. I've told her how I feel, and she's been understanding. She's told me that she doesn't blame me for feeling that way, and that she's willing to do whatever it takes to regain my trust. I appreciate her willingness to work on our marriage, but I'm still not sure if it's enough. I've also been thinking about her other family, and I've decided that I'm ready to meet them. I know that my wife wants us to be a modern family and for all the children to be raised together, but I'm still not sure if I'm ready for that. I've decided to take things one step at a time and to focus on getting to know her other family. I've met Victor, her other husband, and he seems like a nice guy. I've also met her other children, and they seem like great kids. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything, but I'm trying to be open-minded. I know that this is a lot to take in, and I'm trying to be patient and understanding. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I need to take things one step at a time. I'm trying to focus on my own healing and on rebuilding my marriage. I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to fully move past this, but I'm willing to try. I love my wife, and I want to make our marriage work. I'm just not sure if it's possible. My father remarried last month, and his new wife is younger than me. Now she's trying to ground me in my own house. I'm a 25-year-old man who still lives with my father. I know it's not ideal, but I've been going through a tough time financially, and my dad has been kind enough to let me stay with him until I get back on my feet. About 6 months ago, my dad started dating this woman named Alexa, who is 22 years old. I was a bit surprised when I found out, but I tried to be understanding and welcoming. After all, my mom had passed away a few years ago, and I wanted my dad to be happy. Fast forward to last month, my dad and Alexa got married in a small ceremony. I was the best man, and I have to admit, it was a bit weird seeing my dad with someone so much younger than him. But I tried to put my feelings aside and be supportive. However, things have taken a turn for the worse since the wedding. Alexa has been trying to assert her authority over me, and it's getting on my nerves. She's been trying to tell me what to do, what to eat, and even what time I should go to bed. I know she thinks she's trying to help, but it's coming across as really controlling and condescending. The other day, she told me that I needed to start doing more chores around the house, which I didn't mind. But then she started lecturing me about how I was lazy and needed to get a job. I felt like I was 10 years old again, being scolded by my parents. I tried to explain to her that I'm actively looking for work, but she just wouldn't listen. Last night, things came to a head when she tried to ground me. Yes, you read that right, she tried to ground me in my own house. Apparently, I had come home too late, and she was upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was running behind. I was shocked when she told me that I was grounded and couldn't leave the house until my father got home from work the next day. I laughed in her face and told her that she couldn't do that, but she just stood there, looking smug and self-righteous. I'm not sure what to do at this point. Part of me wants to move out and get my own place, but another part of me feels like I should try to make this work for my dad's sake. I don't want to cause any tension in the house, but at the same time, I don't want to be treated like a child. I'm considering talking to my dad about this and seeing what he thinks, but I'm not sure if he'll take my side or hers. Update 1. I ended up talking to my dad about what happened with Alexa, and he seemed taken aback by her behavior. He told me that he hadn't realized she was being so controlling and that he would talk to her about it. However, when I brought up the issue of her trying to ground me, he just laughed it off and told me that I needed to learn to communicate better with her. I felt frustrated and disappointed that he wasn't taking my concerns more seriously. I'm starting to think that he's so caught up in the honeymoon phase of their marriage that he's not seeing the reality of the situation. I've decided to try to take a step back and not engage with Alexa as much, hoping that she'll eventually back off and realize that she can't treat me like a child. But it's hard when she's constantly trying to assert her authority over me. For example, yesterday, she told me that I needed to start eating dinner with them every night and that I couldn't just heat up my own food in the microwave. I told her that I liked having my own space and time to myself, but she just got angry and told me that I was being selfish. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her, never knowing what's going to set her off. Update 2. Things have been escalating over the past few days. Alexa has been getting more and more aggressive in her attempts to control me. Yesterday, she took away my phone and told me that I couldn't have it back until I apologized for something I had said to her. The problem was, I had no idea what I was supposed to be apologizing for. I ended up having to go to the library to use their computer to email my friends and family, just to let them know what was going on. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I don't know how much more of this I can take. I've started looking for apartments and jobs just so I can get out of this situation. But, at the same time, I feel guilty for wanting to leave my dad's house. He's always been there for me, and I don't want to abandon him, especially now that he's married to someone who's clearly got some issues. I've been trying to talk to him about it, but he just keeps telling me that I need to be patient and that Alexa will come around eventually, but I'm not so sure. Update 3. I had a huge fight with Alexa last night, and I'm not sure how much longer I can stay in this house. It started when she tried to tell me that I couldn't have any of my friends over because she didn't want strangers in the house. I lost my temper and told her that she couldn't dictate who I could and couldn't see, and that I was an adult and could make my own decisions. She got angry and started yelling at me, telling me that I was ungrateful and selfish. My dad tried to intervene, but it only made things worse. He ended up taking her side and told me that I needed to respect her boundaries and listen to what she had to say. I felt so betrayed and hurt, and I ended up storming out of the house and spending the night at a friend's place. I don't know what to do now. Part of me wants to just cut ties with my dad and Alexa and start fresh on my own. But another part of me feels like I owe it to my dad to try to make this work, even if it's just for his sake. I'm so torn, and I don't know what the future holds.